Ashes, are you ready there?
I am.
Okay. So we're every month we try to do some uh, event where we people can gather together and casually while they're eating lunch. Don't have to put your video on if you don't want to, but you're welcome to. But just a chance for um, to have some sort of learning and a new experience. Um, Ashes, you're such a multi uh, talented person, and some of us know you for your poetry, but there's a whole other side of you with the healing and spirit and renewal, and we're hoping to hear a little bit more about what you do and what we can do to get through life a little bit better. So, you want to start?
Okay. So thank you to Rena and Aubrey for the opportunity, and thank those of you who came in to join me today. So, pretty much what we're going to do is have a little fun. We're having some lunch. If you've already eaten your lunch, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't fall asleep. I'm going to shine my light. And I'm gonna, soak in your light as we join in this moment together. And I'm just gonna kind of take you through this journey with me. Um, feel free to ask questions throughout, but I will have a space here for you guys if you want to ask questions about certain things. So I'm going to go through a journey of sharing a good bit of who I am and this idea of artistry and light and purpose. Okay? So if you want to show yourself, I do like it. Because it gives me energy if I can see your faces, or you can just unmute because I like to hear from you as well. Okay. Um, so we're gonna start with a little poetic journeying as introduction. Okay, so this is sort of a message from the little girl in me to the divine me. Okay, dear you, I'm daily preparing for our acquaintance, to prepare my mind for what my heart says I'm in need of and my spirit whispers I'm deserving of. I make sure not to miss a moment in truth's lessons because I have trouble trusting I'm deserving of much more than I have. And even that at times appears as far too much. To give love to you is of the divine, and I'm full aware of its depths, but it's this mortal condition based love I'm yet fearful of. I know one supersedes the other and can be taught and offered properly. Being as though I'm a current student, I'm well aware I know not how to trust in another's ability to be taught and offer. My fear isn't that we don't learn, but who's understood. So I'm preparing in the hopes that when I see you, it's evident that you understand. Okay? So the girl in me speaking to the divine in me, which is kind of how I got into this entire journey, right? So all life happens like it does for all of us. Ups, downs, highs, lows, and leaves me in this space, right, to cope with its abandonment and how I now see myself. Here we dig into the journey, my internal evolution, our aha moments, right? Ashamed of her testimony. But who said she had to? She says ashes and dust are what's left. She feels bogarted with guilt stares because remnants of past sins keep her locked in, boxed in. She sees no escape route, no friends around, so there's no one around to pull her out, comfort her, then push her out. But even there, she's scared. Outside that nice little shell, that one little space that fits just right, so snug in a place it fits just right. So snug in a place whose grip so tight it sucks out the very life she's literally dying to live. Caught up in a dream that's become her lie, her lullaby, her ruins. She's justified them, nurtured them, clenched tight to the vice that's sifting her every breath away. Times two never meant a thing to her because round one was simply the norm for her. Dysfunction overruns dismay and sorrow outruns subjection. And although they're running, she never saw them coming. Believing in a dream that was built on lies, she sings her goodbyes. Forced out of the very lives her womanhood birthed, destitute she sits. Tears fill empty palms because there's nothing left. She already gave her best. The best good in her, the best bad in her, now gone from her. Because she's already deposited it into this world of hers. Now, out of that world into one so unfamiliar, so opinionated, so unforgiving. A world that won't reveal to you that there's another world because it's in competition with that world. What world? Whose world? Can you imagine? She was just banished from one world. So confusion sets in. Standing stagnant in the midst of contrasting worlds, she spots a face, a very familiar face. So she reaches out to touch it. And as it begins to stretch towards her, she begins to gravitate towards it. A force field between two worlds begins to form. As she crumbles, as her foundation beneath her begins to crumble, her footing has been shattered beneath her. She knows she must move fast, jump fast, react fast, and into the grasp of a familiar hand with a familiar touch gently guides her into its world. So with fear mixed hope, she looks up to see that same familiar face. She begins to weep. She weeps looking into a face that it looks like hers. It smiles like hers, accepts like hers, and desires like hers, forgives like hers, and loves like hers. Yet she's not even sure how to receive this view, doesn't know how to bask in the warmth of these serene cradled arms, perplexed with the similarity she sees, can't cope because it's her face she sees. That is an internal evolution, the beginning of my awakening, y'all. Okay? Everybody with me? Y'all
Yeah.
okay? We journeying? We good? Okay, good. All right, so further on my journey I go, okay? All these mixed emotions and figuring out who I am and why these things have happened, right? And then there's this aha, my light moment. So sometimes it seems my life was made of sorrow, chaos, confusion, anything that brings a heart to misery. A dream to be what this world needs, a son to mold into a man, no daddy to mention. Things in my past too much to recollect. Can't begin to reflect because life goes on, or at least that's what they say when their piece of the pie was so much more sweet and good to eat. Okay? So don't look back. Just keep hope alive. Strive for the best. Winners never quit and quitters never win. Like somehow those quotes close the gates. Bars, no, more like concrete walls that were built in those tear-filled nights all alone. Yes, alone. But all fear, hurt, heartache, and pain must have come out on this particular night in each drop that fell on my pillow, because when I woke the next morning, I saw a light shining. And no, I can't say that it was the sun, and it wasn't that bright idea either. I mean, I wish I could say that this was my idea, that a light bulb went off in my brain, but this wasn't me at all. No, there was more to this light than my mind could even grasp at the time, you see. This light seemed so complex to me because it was shining every time I closed my eyes, but when I opened them, gone. Just like that. And unbeknownst to me, this light would guide me. This light would mentor me. This light would lead me to you and you and you. So today, at this time, in this moment, I present to you that light. Yeah. So through my heart, my soul, my mind, through the words that I can no longer keep confined, I present to you this light. And know that this light in me that your eyes can't see, it's given me the very ability to capture time, inspire minds, and circumcise hearts to be taken up in my rapture. This light was given to cast glow on all that seemed dark, barren, and bound by walls. It's so simple, you see. An internal cleanse. and take a look at me. That light, it's been set free, now able to shine ever so brightly. The light inside me has become so clear in my memory. This light is mine. One only my eyes can see, but makes up the me that all of you can see. Words. Words are that light that dwells within me, given to me as a gift, my gift to share with all of you, to share with the world. Words. A series of speech sounds that symbolize and communicate a meaning. Words. Used to express your heart's feelings. Words. Do my words really carry weight in the world? You see, because I remember the old folks saying sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. True or false? True or false? You see, I used to wonder, I would really ponder, but it must be false. It has to be false because words are all I have. Words have made me who I am. Words are the rays of sunshine that brighten all my days. So you see, words, they carry more than weight. They carry power. And I've made proof of this truth, this fact at this moment because my light is shining bright and without any of you expecting. My light, brought in the form of words, has simply captured each mind. Hearing or reading these words are my light. And that light shines through me. We all have a light that shines within, right? We know that it exists, yet sometimes we fail to acknowledge its brightness. It took me 22 years to acknowledge my light. So I declare to all of you who hear my voice or read my words, let your light be made known to everyone in every way, everywhere you go. And you'll be amazed at how bright you glow. Okay? So if y'all tapped into your light yet, you feel like you got a light source inside your well right now. Okay? Okay. All right. So wherever you are in your journey, if you're tapping into your light, if you found your light, if you're shining bright in your space, it's okay wherever you are in your journey, which is another piece of the journey that I had to learn, okay? But know that as we're moving throughout our journeys, right? Wherever we are, okay? That we exist in our movement and our light is our source, but the illumination out into our spaces, our family, our loved ones, our friends, strangers, when we go grocery shopping, okay? Anywhere we go, we have that light source. And there's a glory to every story that we have, okay? Here's a piece of mind. See, you can't tell my story. Can't revive what's left of my story. You just wouldn't survive my story. You see, this broken place renders such a lonely space where heartache and its antics have become the beginning and the end of each chapter. You see, flipping pages used to be my mind's way of escape. Shattered attempts to read upon pages afresh. Imagine new words in order to create a better reality as not to usher myself into the sly embrace of defeat's arms. But when you're born into sorrow's essence, distortions appear as clarities can, making truth in beauty and destiny more difficult to depict, resulting in arms weakened. Now too tired to turn one page, fingers tight, wrists paralyzed, exhaustion sets in, all fight for life gone from me, and you stuck staring at me, steady judging me, but see, you can't tell my story. Can't revive what's left of my story. You just wouldn't survive my story. So now weak, torn, tattered, these pages of my existence growing slim because with each day that passes by, they steady blowing off in the wind into the gusts of winds that engulf me, swallow me whole, then toss back fragments of an already bruised heart and mind. But with these withered, stained shreddings before me, coupled in surrendered palms, birth fragility's peak, and transparency consumes me. And each piece is gathered and displays a more brilliant chapter than before, so I continue to read more. As truth beckons me, Strength is restored unto me, making these pages less heavy to hold in what once were feeble hands, where wisdom wealth now secretes, offering words to now write my authentic story. You see, now I can tell my story. Have revived what's left of my story. I survived. So you could tell your story. Okay? Y'all happy I survived? Okay? That's all of our stories, okay? We survive so somebody else can survive. A little sass, a little toot into your light, right? I'm a light. Yeah, I'm here. I survived. All of it, okay? Whether you think it was small or not, it was major for me. And by George, I'm here today, okay? I'm on a live on Zoom. I made it today, okay? I'm here. Do I have anything to be happy about? Do I have any source of light today? Yeah. How you know? You're not a scholar. How you know that be fact? I know because we're here, okay? So smile at yourself right now if you're happy you survived, because I'm happy you survived, okay? Let's tap into our awakening, and then we're going to move on to some goodies, okay? Here's when we get into life's awakening. Here's who you guys have come to see today, okay? I've been reborn. God's assurance in reassuring me that all has not been lost, okay? That each dream shown, every vision unfolded is guaranteed. The divine's promises to me, lays me down, adorns my body in calm, only lavender's essence can contain, crowns my head with playful daisies, halo woven together and stares at me. Remnants of past sins gone from me, cleansed from me, presented me back to life pure once more. So here I am, the rebirth from ashes where my beauty began. Same place where I learned truth's definition again, where love's transparency divulged details that intellect could never explain. So now I feel with more than simple hands, taste with more than simple tongue. I hear through more than simple ears, smell from more than simple nose, and most definitely have sight from more than simple eyes. Yes, the rebirthing of life has become my awakening to life's honest delicacies. With my hand grazing along yours, we embrace. Pause a moment and soak up this destiny here. Connection, your spirit to mine, touch aligns. I've connected and encountered the divine. With tongue's tremendous ability to decipher flavors, diversity, I'm left without longing here. Destiny, soak up this moment. Pause. What sounds abound now that joy's symphony can be heard. Inhales consumed of sweetness caught in blossoms of sun rays and rainbow's promises is seen illuminating the moon's glow. I now embrace every moment. Pause. This moment. Each moment. Soak up its destiny here. My entirety in connection with eternity's calling, each piece of me composing wisdom's vibration, echoed throughout the existence of all mankind. You see, it's here. I unwind, have come undone. Epitome of what my origin calls home, such a sweet resting place here. Destiny. I soak up every moment. I pause. And finally, I have realized all I am inside. You see, my declaration to life is my life. Nothing taken for granted. I welcome it all openly to ensure its understanding, to levitate on its truth, only to be lifted into skies vast, unknown, just to be tried again. Elevation in rebirthing's core bears new life into my origins, intimate legacy, allowing me access into all that divinity sees. Which takes me into our next little shove. Okay, so that's the poetic ashes. Okay, gives me life. Okay, writing saved my life, literally. Okay, um, I try my best to make words come alive because if I could ever dap words up, give them a hug, like thank you for being my hero, I would. So the only way that I can justify it, honor it, is to try my best and make it come alive. Okay. So I thank you all for sharing my journey poetically with me. Okay. So now what I need is a couple of brave souls who want to transition with me into um, what part of my mission actually is. Okay. So all these divine things happening, which drove me into a space of, some people, Reiki, crystal therapy, intuitive kind of readings in life, right? Being able to assist people in matters of the heart, right? So this heart space that we have, some people call it your heart chakra or whatever. It's just an energy portal, right? Our heart is literally the heart and beat of our existence, okay, right? In all kinds of ways, right? Um, and so I have this great honor, mission, purpose that fits into my day to day life, also in a holistic alternative therapy profession, so that I get to merge these two things. So that's an honor and a blessing to me. And so I assist, right? I'm Ashes, the rebirth. So when my path crosses another, there is some form of realigning, a rejuvenation, right? Um, a renewing, a rebirthing, of course, okay? And most importantly, a remembering of who we are in our divine, authentic space. And we forget that a lot. This life has a way of stripping that little by little, even in ways that we don't understand. Um, and I am a mother in real life, but even in the spirit space or on an energetic, alternative kind of therapy way, am like mother. But also nurse to assist in people remembering or rebirthing that nice, sweet space, the core of how we came into this realm before life kind of happened and skewed our mindset or tarnished the heart, or stripped things away. Ashes burned us down because those ashes are still there. And so that's a remnant. Imagine if something burned away and there was nothing left, period. We couldn't go back to see the ashes, the tarnished pieces of it, right? It's a sad memory to see, period, because all of our things are gone. But there is still something there, even if it's something as subtle as ashes, right? Because that shows that there's a remnant. That's the residue of what was, meaning if I can still see something that was, I can always rebirth this thing. I can always recreate this thing. I wasn't lost. Okay. There's ashes here. That's the remnant. Those are the people that I come to represent. The misunderstood, the ones that are unheard, right? The ones that are forgetting ourselves. So that's where my path crosses with people. Okay. Um, and so if I could get two volunteers, you don't have to, but I just wanted to display to you all what it is that I actually do um, intuitively. Now, of course, we're like other people on here, so I wouldn't do anything like that we would do like personally, privately, all in your biz, okay? I wouldn't do anything like that. Spirit wouldn't allow it anyway, okay? And let me preface it with this because I know that there's all different people that may join or that may see this on the playback, okay? So it doesn't interfere with any type of religion or anything of that nature. Okay, let me say this: I am led and guided by all things pure, true, and love. And so, to me, the way spirit works with me, it doesn't matter what you consider your idea of God or spirit to be. I consider it just love. Okay, and because I grew up in the religion that my grandmother chose for me, God is a word that resonates for me because that's what I grew up hearing. Okay, but God is love to me, so if I say love, it's same thing to me. Um, so I don't want anyone to because I'm all words to get caught up in synonyms. Okay, so it's love. Okay, and it's the energy that is spirit. And so it's just to help to guide us into whatever would help us to remember our true selves or to get back on a path of, hey, you've forgotten how great you really are, get back in that space, okay? Or what things may help or that we might need to be aware of. And so I do those things, one, by intuitive, which means you say, you open up your heart and We both breathe, and spirit just kind of speaks to me about what things could be going on, and then I share those visions or those sounds or messages. I also not tarot cards, because spirit won't ever allow me to do those, but I do work with oracle cards. The word oracle means messenger, and so just a messenger of spirit. And the only reason why a messenger is needed is because sometimes um, it's hard to really hear, energetically, right? Or from spirit, because we're humans. And so everything tangible is what makes sense, is factual, right? If somebody didn't tell us, whatever, elements make up air, we might not believe that there's air. What air where?
Uh-huh.
I'm breathing because I just breathe, okay? There's things that, we can't see or, necessarily always explain, but we know when we love, we display it the best we can, but the essence of it is that frequency, that energy that we can't really, how can I really put it? I can only display it, right? True definition of it is always going to be examples of, right? Those are when we get into things that we call essence, spirit, energy, right? Um, and so that's what I want to do. So if I have a volunteer,
I'll volunteer.
okay. Okay, I love the eagerness, because I was like, I wonder if anybody would, because
I need a lot of work.
You know what happens? A lot of times people think they have a lot of work, or that it's going to be something like bad. But because it's all to usher us back into just remembering what our natural glow is, what spirit really says about us, like outside of our natural stuff, like outside of our motherhood or fatherhood, outside of, our duties at work, or, how we show up, or I've got to go grocery shopping today, or laundry. Who are you, let me help you smile upon yourself. We have this way of always shining upon others, thinking that somehow, if our well gets dry, how do I get to really love you and show up the best of me, right? So here's what I say to people. I only give of my overflow, okay? I've got this vessel here. I fill it up, all of me, okay? I need a lot of it for myself. And then once I have it all full for myself, I don't know why this keeps going dark. I'm not sure what's going on. It could be my big head connection with this window.
There you go.
But if I've got this well and I fill it up, all of me, I've got this saucer underneath of it, whatever trickles down there, and hopefully I fill myself up enough that I got a good abundance of overflow, because then I can give it, I can give it out. I can pour it out, okay? If I don't have any overflow, then I don't have anything to give to you, so you're going to have to wait and love me enough until I get myself together that I can give you some overflow, okay? I don't have
Put your oxygen mask on before you put on anybody else's.
There
right?
you go. There you go. I gotta save me first. Okay, because I didn't want to go too deep. I just did usually I use these in a reading for like closer cards, but I was like, let me just use these that way. It doesn't go too far. Okay, so the card that you have.
I can't see it. Oh, adversity.
It says adversity, yeah. And then it says, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. You were eager. I'm going to shuffle these real quick for you. Okay, this is for Rena. Rena. Forgiveness. I thought so. Okay. All right. So you've got the adversity card. I accept challenges are the best way to learn, and then you also have the forgiveness card. Okay. I hear show up authentically, right? And the adversity isn't necessarily like anything like when we hear the word and it's something coming towards us. It's something like almost like in your own space, like a blocking of your own light. So then a forgiveness card is here with it. I'm gonna tell you overall what I feel like spirit is saying. There's like okay, we talked about light in that one poem. Okay. And this is Rena the woman, not y'all's boss, okay? Or,
Mhm.
executive director. This is to the heart and core of the woman, okay? And there's a sweet essence of light that dwells within you, but there's a block that keeps all the light from shining. So it's not that all the light isn't like shining, okay? It's like, say if you had an orb of light that was behind me, right? That was circular, like, sort of like my head. So my head would be here. So we would still be able to see some of the light kind of illuminating, but my head, me, myself, is still blocking the good portion, all of the light, right? That's
Mhm.
coming out. That's what kind of that's what spirit's saying for you. That's what spirit is saying about you. Um, when you talk about challenges and forgiveness, they kind of go hand in hand for you. Um, so there are, I don't see it like outward, like other people that need to be forgiven, other people that are offering the challenges, not that people aren't, because we live in a human existence. I hear spirit more so saying like with inside yourself, like why is the light being blocked? What
Mhm.
challenges have you encountered? Um, what challenges do you see for yourself that you're not really in a space of forgiving yourself for? Let it go. It's kind of like a get out of your own way kind of thing.
Mhm. It's like
Um,
a self-forgiveness kind of a
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Whatever a mistake might have been, it doesn't matter how big or small anybody else thinks it is. Whatever it is big enough that it's big enough that it's not blocking all your light, but it's big enough that it's blocking a good proportion of your light, at least half of the light. You know.
Mhm.
Um, so you wanna clear whatever that is, right? You wanna forgive whatever that is, really. Um, and if nothing comes to your mind of what that thing is, um, then you want to really
Hi.
like tap into your own space, right? um, Whatever your relationship is to spirit, or God, or however it is that resonates with you, to kind of get to a space where you can like pray, meditate, or get in like the quiet space, whatever that however that looks for you,
Uh-huh.
in your personal journey, to see like what is it, unless something immediately comes to your mind, right? um, which if we know we're not forgiving ourselves for certain things, or we kind of hold ourselves captive to certain things, we generally know what those things are. But if it's something that's well embedded, and it's hit like the subconscious, but it's not like a daily thing that you're thinking of, then I would
Right.
suggest you like take some time to like consult with spirit, however that resonates with you, to see like what is it, and why you hold so dear to it, why you don't think you deserve to forgive yourself for it.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
does that make sense to you? Or
Yeah, no, it does make sense because the inner perfectionist, you know, I can forgive other people, but I can't forgive myself. I could see that. No, I
okay,
know.
yeah.
And and having that quiet time to reflect and think about, is something that I'm always constantly moving, busy, on the go, and don't take that time to focus in. And usually if I'm sitting still, then I fall asleep because I'm exhausted. So I just, instead of coming inside yourself and thinking. So
Yeah. Is there any music that you listen to? Like a certain genre of music?
probably classic rock, but or pop, but I do. I like to turn my Alexa on, my Amazon Alexa, and say, like, while I'm cooking dinner, Alexa, play some relaxing music, or you know, just to because I feel like music is really, and when I paint, I listen to music.
And most of the music do you listen to has lyrics, or it's music? Just the sound.
Most of them has lyrics. I
Okay.
like female vocalists.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna tell you what spirit suggests for you. I would
Okay.
suggest listening to something, whatever your favorite genre is, whenever you
Hmm.
decide to do it. Because sometimes my favorite changes depending on the day and the mood. So when you decide, hey, I'm gonna go get my quiet time now, think about what's my favorite genre in that moment. And you're gonna
Hmm.
pick whatever music, just the music and the melody. Okay.
Okay.
Because one, there's a level of healing in it for you, whatever you're going to decide to choose. But then two, go give it to Nene. But then two, there's also there's also I guess message or words, if you will, that you'll put to it yourself. Not like become like a songwriter kind of words to go to it, but hearing
Right.
just the sound of it kind of opens up this you know how I said like we can't really like put our hand on the essence of love, we can just show ways to display it. I can
Mm-hmm.
see it like, you know, like you listening to the music, um and like somehow I guess the rhythm and the sounds of the music create certain words that are going to help and assist in your healing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it's not like you have to literally sit back, because I don't think it's a matter of you having to sit and think about what am I not forgiving myself about. I think that's kind of clear, but I think like hearing the music, spirit is kind of saying like it'll bring out words
Mm-hmm.
that'll make it. It'll be like, you know, if somebody was kind of suturing some things and patching things up,
Right.
it's going to kind of do that. Whatever the words are that kind of stem from the sound, the words that'll come out of that music are going to be the words that are kind of like your salve, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
like your, you know, to cover it up, to ease
Neat.
it, to mend the, you know, the sore spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah. Thank you.
sure thing. Thank you. It's not easy to let somebody in your space, and it certainly don't make it easier when other people are in it. Okay. All right. All right. Who else wants to be brave soul? All right. So that's how the cards kind of work for this person. One, since somebody decided to join unwelcomed and uninvited, I'll do an intuitive one. So that way you can see they kind of look the same, but they're kind of different too. So one is with the cards. Of course, they show like different visions. And so I can literally see it because it's pictures. So same card for two different people are going to say two different things. But then when we're talking about like just intuitive work that I do, this is used like when I'm doing really Reiki, because that's all energetic, to see like where in the body and in your heart space you actually need you know, movement or things that are stuck or stagnant. But I also use it for crystal therapy sessions so that I'll know like what crystals to bring. We'll talk about that in just a moment, because you know each crystal, you know, has different frequency and ability. So that's kind of where I use the intuitive, which is just spirit kind of talking, which is us. You know, does anybody want to volunteer to do that with me?
I'll volunteer.
Okay, who's that?
Aubrey.
Oh, Aubrey. Okay. Oh, I see you. Okay, good, good. All right. So all you're gonna do is just breathe and just have the intention in your mind that you're just opening your heart, so that spirit can let me know, right, what's going on. Because
Okay.
what happens if people get scared or they kind of shut down, it'll literally put up a wall, and then I'll be stuck like, all right, spirit. So what do I do now? What do I say now? Hey, Amina, give me just a second. Come and get your sister, please. Aubrey, I'm pulling out crystals. I got
All
them
right.
private, but I want to be able to hear and really get. So we're gonna three times with each other. We're gonna inhale really, really deep, and you don't have to go as long or as short as I go, but you're just gonna make sure that you're inhaling, and then just exhale three times. Try to make it as in sync as you possibly can, and then I'll let you know what spirit is saying. Okay. And
Okay.
find that little puppy in the background. Okay. All right. We'll start with one. And then just continue to breathe and be open in your space. a long line of lineage, and I can literally like see. It's not like a straight shot kind of line. With some corners, like some, depths and deep. I hear, don't forget your nature and your essence. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna stay right there in that space because I don't want to go deeper into your anything because we're here. And I do have respect for the fact that there's a professionalism to the space that we have here, and there's other people. So I'm gonna ask that spirit let that go there and just give me kind of revelation and little information there. So with the lineage, there's a lot of origin space and a lot of natural things going on there. So how in tune are you with where you actually come from? As far as like your actual family lineage, like your roots, where you come from, your people.
Not very much. I mean, I know as far as my like great grandparents, they live in the Baltimore. Well, they're from the Baltimore area, and my parents both separately moved here to Ocean City and met each other here. I really didn't know my dad's side of the family very well. He lost connection with his dad at a very young age, and his mom lived in Florida, so we really didn't see them very much. And then my mom's side of the family all is still in Baltimore.
Okay. All right. So there's like, let me see. I want to draw it so you can see how I saw it. So it's everything about your lineage, and I'm going to tell you this too, and I don't know exactly what this means, and perhaps it's because spirit is respectful, so it's like a familiar bit, but I do hear the word corners. So when it comes to, let's say you say, hey, yeah, I'm really going to go on this path to see exactly, where I come from, because when the way I see it isn't so much, do I know who my great great grandfather, great great grandmother, or in that kind of way. I see it more so my actual lineage, in a sense of who we really are, like our origin kind of space, what things about our family lineage or our family's journey, because some of those things are going to affect your own spiritual life, and it doesn't have to your own life period. And it's not necessarily that it's like in a negative kind of sense, but it's something that at some point in time is either going to hold you up because you're going to be like, hey, I want to know more, if you don't want to know more now. Like if in this moment it's not something that you've ever been concerned about, there's going to be somewhere along your space where you are going to be like, these are things that I must know, I need to know, or there's going to be like grand intrigue for you to really like dig deeper into it. And I can see you'll get to a certain place where someone is going to want there to be corners cut in a way, or not really explain or want to go into details, if you will, or would like for you to stop, the search of that journey and what that means, and like the entirety of family lineage. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't know what side which. I just know spirit says your family lineage. So in my head, I'm not much of a drawer, but the way it looks, it was pointing this way in front of me. So the up here, and then, go over and then down. There was like this big dip here. This is where I could see like the cut corners kind of words kind of came in. There's some depth in there. It's almost like, if people could bury a thing, that's in there. And I don't know, I don't get a feeling like it's good or bad. So it could be a very neutral thing, or, to each their own, how people perceive it. But there's definitely like some under the rug kind of things. Like we don't want to put this elephant in the room because some people think that it's major, while other people are just like, why'd you hide that for so long? Who really, cares? But for certain people within that lineage, and that journey of finding that, There's going to be some things that are kind of like, but the word cut corners, I hear for sure. So perhaps along the line of your lineage, there were some, people that cut corners, and spirit wants you to know that you don't want to, whatever within our lineage can recycle itself, can become a cycle. So guidance for you not to cut corners in any kind of way. But I definitely see at some point in time, if you're not doing it now, like a real necessity to kind of dig really into your lineage and what that really is, and whatever that under the rug kind of stuff is, because things do most certainly generationally happen, and so you want to be mindful of that, right? Things can recycle, right? Itself. Does that make sense to you? Not make sense?
Yes, like an event, like something happened within my family that everyone or someone is trying to hide or cut corners from.
Yeah, or just doesn't want kind of exposed in a way.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure what it is, because again, like if it were like a warning kind of bad things, spirit typically would say that, so you would be aware of it. But I think it more so feels like, to me, it's like depending on who you ask, who you talk to, somebody's perception of it is going to be like, oh, you should have been said, it's not that big of a deal. And then there's other people that are like, they think their whole life and character and everything depends on that staying under wraps. How interested are you in anything with your lineage? Have you ever considered it, or?
Well, something that you're describing kind of reflects something that has happened sort of in my immediate family, not necessarily like an ancestor.
Okay.
So that's why I was asking if it was like a particular event or just like in general.
In like a private reading and you're asking, spirit will probably tell me, because when I got myself started and knowing that I was going to see if I could get volunteers, I asked that spirit would only do so much, and that's why I wanted to stop it, because like as far as you're open is as far as spirit will take me. Okay. So we could definitely go farther. It's just not something like here in this space would really happen, because I like to honor your privacy, because I don't know what more could kind of develop. I wouldn't want spirit to give it to me, because then I would have to hold on to it until I could talk to you, like, in a private kind of space,
right?
Which would then kill like the flow that how spirit kind of works and shows me things. So that's why I just wanted to stop it when I could see like that dip and all. I knew like whatever that dip was like some under the rug kind of stuff, and because it was such a neutral, like some people yay, some people don't tell. I was just like, all right, spirit, let's just kind of like stop here so we don't go any further to, in the open space with people. So like privately, like those kind of things, we go a little bit more in detail too. I'm just giving like a really broad idea of what intuitively I do and how it kind of works and looks. Okay.
Yeah, I get it. It makes lots of sense.
All right. Oh, and we're almost out of time, aren't we? Okay, so let me do this then. So most of what I'm doing, like I said earlier, is I use crystals. So I'm going to show you a couple of those crystals. But before, just very quickly, I'm going to go through some crystals. While I'm going through the crystals, I'm going to show you some, ask some questions. If anybody has questions, just kind of go in and ask me some questions. So I do want to tell you guys this. I do, and if you enjoyed my poetry, I do have a book. It's a poetic autobiography that just kind of introduces the world to me. It's called A Piece of Me Brings Peace to Me. Stephanie Fowler actually published this one for me. She's really sweet. You guys know her, she's local, and you work with her. So that was the book. In the end of March, I'm really excited. I've been working like super hard. And pre-orders will be available at the end of March for the Piece of Me Brings Peace to Me Healing Journal, which is going to help people to, on their own, in their own, sweet space to kind of go along with the journey, your own journey. And it's in the form of rebirthing. So it's really cool how Spirit kind of developed the book, and I was able to kind of write it. So if you're interested in those, you can always let me know. And then all the services that I provide, like on a private kind of space are crystal therapy, Reiki, cleansing any blockages. Of course, the readings with the cards or like meditative, intuitive kind of readings. I also do like poetic readings, which are really cool. It's kind of new, but we'll sit, kind of meditate together. Spirit will give me like a love poem or like, you know, some kind of like mantra-ish language for you to carry with yourself, and you would get to take that. I do ancestor readings, past loved ones readings, like any messages, or if you're people that are having a hard time, which is why it was cool about the whole grieving group. To help to kind of get past those kind of things. And of course, writing workshops that are either geared toward teaching poetry or teaching how to heal via your own words. And then I do healing retreats, like 30 days, me, you, we become family, friends for real, and get over some things. So ask questions if you want. And then I'm going to pull out a couple of like my favorite crystals or like the ones that I use on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So what I just had twiddling in my hand while I was doing some of the readings, this is it's a selenite wand. So selenite is good for cleansing things. So it keeps my spirit kind of clear while I'm doing readings, but it also keeps me open, right? Because you don't want to, like how we have all these people on here. I don't want to be pulling from Katie when I'm doing a reading for Elaine. You know what I mean? And once you get a room where people are really focused and in tune, everybody's heart is open whether we know it or not, right? And so you want to make sure that you're in tune to the person that you're actually talking to, and that I'm not pulling any of my own feelings and anything into any space, which is why I like to read for people that I don't know, because it's harder to be like, okay, keep myself, I have to do a lot of extra work to keep me out and just be the open vessel, as opposed to when I don't know someone. And anytime I do any kind of readings, I never ask anybody to tell me anything about themselves beforehand, because it takes out the work that Spirit's going to do. Like, it has to resonate with the people for them to actually know, oh yeah, you really heard that from the heart of me, from my own spirit guide, and not, just to be all in my business or something, So what I use, black tourmaline a lot. And black tourmaline, it looks like big chunks of charcoal, really. I'm sorry, it looks like not so great in that camera. Okay, so black tourmaline is good for putting any kind of negative energy at bay, okay? Whether it be negative energy from other people, like if I know I'm going to encounter some negative people, wherever it may be, or for people that work around negative frequencies, like computers, all day. When I used to work at the library, I used to always keep a piece of black tourmaline right on the computer, so that it'll, keep some of that negative energy, which doesn't do our bodies very good, out of the space. But I definitely have it out with any type of reading that I do, just to keep any negative energy from the unknown coming in, or any of our own kind of negative thoughts, of what something could be. Amethyst, I don't know if you can tell, but this is just a little cluster of amethyst, and it's really purple. I don't think it looks really purple right here. It's a light purple. But amethyst you probably see a lot because people wear jewelry and things. So you'll see that. Amina, come get your sister. And then, let's see. Clear quartz. Okay, here's one of my favorites here. So, let me say this. Amethyst is also a master healer, if you will. The same thing with turquoise. So this would be like for any of my clients who like some people aren't so picky, like, yeah, what crystal for this, what crystal for that. Amethyst, turquoise are going to be like the crystals that are going to be for a gamut of things, right? So whatever it is you kind of want to use it for, you can use it for any of them, okay? And then this clear quartz. That's a nice little chunk. So I love these chunks. So clear quartz is all about activating things. So being mindful, if you had it as a piece of jewelry or something, because if the energy is a negative energy, that's what it's kind of going to activate, right? So thinking about what things you want activated. So like if I'm meditating and I want to manifest some things, if I'm wanting to bring in more love in my space. And these are the things that I want to activate, then I'll have some clear quartz there. Anytime I'm doing any kind of read, I bring clear quartz because whatever truth comes out, I want the person to be able to actually receive it. So it comes in all different kind of, of looks. Okay, and then let's see, rose quartz. Just a second. Stop. Okay, so rose quartz. Outside of all the other jobs I do, I'm a single mom. Like that wasn't just for poem's sake, okay? Let me just say, okay? So yeah, take that in the room now. Doesn't listen. Okay. So here's rose quartz. And rose quartz is perhaps a crystal I needed to have out the whole time. So this is a loving, mothering, kind of nurturing crystal, okay? So I use that well, my kids are all homeschooled now, but back when my daughter was going to Buckingham, she had a lot of separation anxiety because we're always together. And so I made a bracelet for her with the rose quartz. So it's good for things like that. It's good for people who may be in the space of grieving a mother, or say if you live far from your mother or far from your children, they grow up, go to college, live their lives, both of you having those pieces, how I don't see it so much now. Back in the day, like everybody had their locket, you had your best friend on one side, your mom on one side, your dad, or however. That's kind of like the rose quartz energy. Okay. And then tiger's eye. Okay. Tiger's eye is a must always for me. It's got like stripes. We can't see this so good, but it's like it's got like a goldy kind of hint to it, but brown, tan kind of streaks to it. So it has like a tigerish kind of look to it. Okay, and that's a crystal that's really good for like courage. Okay, any kind of healing space, because it takes courage, whether it's volunteering in front of people to get a reading, or in private, right? So I also make like these wands with different crystals for therapy sessions, because there's things that come up that people don't think are going to come up. You come to a session thinking you need help with one thing, and a lot of other things kind of come up. And times when you get fearful, the wand is there, laying right beside, someone's side, so they can kind of grab it. Tiger's eye is kind of one of those energetic crystals. You need the courage to speak up. You need the courage to, hone in on your own voice. And when I'm talking about your voice, here's like a piece of lapis. It's blue, although I don't know what's going on with this funky camera, but it's got like blue in it, and then it's got like some darker hints of like grayish in it. But lapis is definitely like something that literally in a session we could just sit on your throat chakra. So if you have any kind of trouble with like voicing who you are, your feelings on things, or approaching people, or just feeling like your feelings are valid, your opinions are valid, lapis. And because I know we're short on time, I'll end it there in case anybody has questions. But just a rule of thumb, anything that's going to resonate, or anything that's a color of like black, brown, darker kind of colors, even really, really dark red, it's going to be anything with your root chakra, any of your, concerns about like foundation, keeping yourself grounded, standing in your own space, right? Anything that's going to be blue in color is all about like your throat chakra, or things that need to get in flow or getting more in tune with your emotions. Anything purple, indigo-ish kind of colors, clear kind of colors, like the clear quartz, or like your white kind of colors, are going to be in tune to like your third eye, which is kind of like your spiritual kind of senses, to get in tune more so in that space, or to grow further in a spiritual kind of space. Anything like yellow, golden, citrine, orange, like a carnelian kind of piece. These are going to be the pieces that, high energy, get your creativity flowing, get you in a better mood. If you know you're going into a space that you got to go into, have your black tourmaline with you and take your carnelian so nothing steals any of your kind of joy. Okay. So that's kind of like a little rule of thumb if you don't really want to dig into like the names of each crystal or anything. I would stick a little bit more with the color. So that's what I use. Other than my own heart and the heart of the people that come to me. So if anybody has questions or anything, I'll answer those gladly. Or any comments, I'd appreciate it. Or just show me your face and say hi. I'm okay with that.
So Ashes, you wear the crystals or you have them near you or?
Okay. So like a big chunk like this is something I have in my house. You know how we have like our tables and things like that. So I have certain spaces and places within my house that I have certain crystals that I know are going to be good. If it's like a high traffic area, I have people coming over to my house. You know, or if it's just like my kids' room or wherever, like whatever might be needed in that moment for them on the table. So these bigger pieces like that, yeah, I'm going to have on a table. But like these little pieces here, I can make these into necklaces. See, like I got this little tiny citrine here on me. So I wear it. Citrine is all about abundance. It's all about having your creativity, you know, and things of that nature. So I have that. So depending on the size, because there's people that will wear huge crystals, but you know, depending on what a person wants. And then I have some that are smaller that I make into earrings. Okay, so like this. So you can choose to wear them. That would be up to the person. So typically, like if I do a session with someone, and you know, whatever their, you know, things are that they're being guided to do or what have you. So see, that's a piece of turquoise and just like a little gem just for color on there. It's like a little peachy gem on there.
Okay.
So just make them into earrings. So, or this is jasper, you know, make a bracelet.
Right.
Yeah. So if someone wants to wear it, then I'll create whatever concoction they want, a necklace, a bracelet, an anklet. I don't have I'm growing my dreads back, but when I had my locks, I would make little coiled ones for people that like to wear them in their hair. You know, so, and then there's little pieces, and then there's larger chunks like this one here. I don't need that one. Thank you, though. You know, and I just kind of take the wire and just design it however. They can put it on a link. So you can, this is a raw piece of jasper, actually. So there's raw crystals that are in their natural state, and then you have tumbled ones that make it easier so they won't chip and things, because some crystals in their raw state kind of chip a little easier than others. Or if you're going to be wearing it as jewelry every day, you know, tumbled piece that way. Or if a kid is wearing it. So you can have it either way. And of course, like if you see some geoids, oh my gosh, I mean, they cost a lot. The larger you get, or the type of crystal. So like a large amethyst geoid, you know, could be like $2,000, and it stands like to my height, but it's gorgeous.
Right.
So, and even if you don't pay for one, like sometimes I just go into Buddha and Beads, and they have this huge amethyst. That's the one I'm talking about that I would love to have. Okay. But since I can't, I just stand there and just get some of the energy that's from it. Yeah, and you know, go on about my business and get the smaller ones I can afford.
Right. Well, thanks for shining your light into our hearts and opening up our hearts and our minds and our eyes to other possible ways of, you know, healing and bringing joy into our lives. So
absolutely.
I'm going to go dig out my rose quartz now, because I know I have some that I used to wear like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think I could use some in my life right now.
Yeah. If it's been gone, hey, that's good for that music too. If you haven't used it in a while, you know, you want to. Today is the new moon. Yes, it's the 11th. Okay. So if you haven't used it in a while, a way to cleanse your crystals are putting them out in the new moon. Or I was thinking for you actually with the music, sometimes I'll put on my music, and it doesn't have to be meditative music. Sometimes I blast my crystals to Tupac because sometimes I like his lyrics. Okay, he's the rose that came from the concrete. You know, that's my brother. So you know, I might put my crystals next to the speaker so it can pick up the vibration, or like sage in it, or that's what the selenite is, right? If you got a nice, you can get blocks of selenite that sit like a cutting board to put your food on, when you bring it in. Yeah, we clean
Uh-huh.
our produce off with the water, but also, cleaning all the energy and touch that went into it. So yeah, if it's been gone for a while, just cleanse it and then use it. Yeah, that's cool. I like that you have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to talk to me privately, something you didn't want to say on here, I'm available. I don't know if my information's on here or not, but you can contact the Art League and they definitely know how to get up with me.
Yeah, and we'd love to see some of your books for sale here at the Art Center. We'll have to work on that.
For
Mhm.
sure, for sure.
And
then
at Arts Day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And at Arts Day.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sometimes I get excited about making moves and doing things that the business end of it, like I completely forget. Like I leave the books or leave I'm like, yeah, we're going out with the people.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So yeah, I thank everybody for taking time, have lunch with me today, ask questions, and definitely Rena and Aubrey for volunteering. That was super brave.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ashes.
It was a lot of fun,
Have a great day.
Ashes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really
Bye,
enjoyed
Thank you,
everyone.
it.
Ashes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.